All right, so recording is there. I will just double check. All right, so we will go ahead and get started. If anybody else sees somebody joining, would you just raise your hand, please, so I can go admit them? Because once I start presenting, I'm gonna not see them. So with the or with the transition update, guys see the new structure, new name at the top?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Beginning August 1st, we are changing names. So NAS had us called the Data Collection Centers, DCC. And that is a wonderful name. It served our purpose, but it also we had 5 different locations across the country. And as we transition into one working, well-polished unit, we want to reflect that. And so NASDA, beginning August 1st, we are going to refer to ourselves as the National Data Center, or NDC. And in NDC, we have enumerators from across the country, from Little Rock, Arkansas to Cheyenne, Wyoming, to Oklahoma City, St. Louis, everything in between. And we're exceedingly happy you guys decided to stay and go through this transition with us. And welcome to the National Data Center. NDC will be the acronym, but when you are communicating with respondents, we never want to say, this is Jody calling on behalf of the Arkansas Data Collection Center. We don't say that. We say calling on behalf of USDA NAS. So that introduction will remain the same. So, national staffing levels. What do we look like as a national team? Well, we have a lot of exciting things as a national team. We are made up of our managers, our coaches, and our trainers. We actually were authorized an extra position for our trainers because of the calling times. We start at between 6 and 7 in the morning and go till 9 o'clock at night. We wanted to make sure that IT needs were met and covered, so we were authorized an extra position for our training staff. But the NASDA staff counts, we have 105 in the morning, we have a couple in the afternoon, and then we have our evening crew size. Will we continue to look like this as we head into the future? I can't answer that. NASA is still undergoing a lot of transitions. Will we get smaller? Will we get larger? I don't know, but we are up for the challenge. So this is your NASDA management structure. This was actually emailed to all of you and it was posted to the website. I'm the associate director. I'm Jody Ross. I'm located there in that yellow or orangey color. And on one hand, below me, you have the 3 selected trainers. And I will be getting information out to you this week regarding this management structure and where you fall into it. Hold on one sec. Oh, we're muted. Okay. And where you fall into it, but those managers or those trainers, excuse me, you have a morning trainer in Monica Jeffries. You have an afternoon trainer in Joey Murphy, and you have an evening trainer in Audrey Watson. So somebody will be available all day. You have your 5 managers located there in green from across the country. Each brings unique talents into the National Data Center structure. Um, they've been and have numerous years with NAS, and they've done an excellent job in their current positions with NASDA. Over in the color-coded area, Karen Fike has 2 enumerators underneath her, Melissa and Angela. Ken has Callie and Corinne, and so forth through the rest of the table. And it's denoted whether it is a day coach and or an evening coach. The piece that you are all missing is where you as an enumerator, where you fall into this structure. And I have a slide that'll show that here in just a second. So management structure, if I will send this presentation out once we finish up, but if you were to click here, this will take you to that graph that you just saw that denotes the management structure. The associate director, that's me. I'm going to begin emailing staff the contact information and who you will be assigned to as your manager and your coaches. This email will also contain the trainer information in case you pick up additional hours and you normally work the morning, but you have an issue at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. You need to know who to contact. You will receive this email no later than August 1st. I will begin working on it later this evening and into tomorrow to get you what you need. Hold on just one second. I have to admit somebody. I want you to save this email. When you get this email, save it. And this is why. It is liquid gold. It is going to be the best thing that you have in your repertoire because it will have the email and the phone number of those individuals in the management team that you can contact. This information is not being posted anywhere. The reason it's not being posted is we have our email and our personal phone numbers, and we do not want that put on the public facing NASDA website. So, when you get this email, please save it, please print it, or please write the information down so that you know who your manager, who your coach, and who the trainers are for the times that you work. Okay, so by August 1st, you will be getting that email from me and where you fall under, what employees. Oops, wrong screen. Okay, NASDA is working on improving communications. So, for those of you under the old structure, if you were a supervisor and or a coach, you had an email account, a USDA.gov email account. If you were an enumerator, NAS did not provide you an email account. You used your own, your yahoo.com, your google.com, your whatever it might be. I'm sending out a lot of emails. And when I send out a lot of emails and you're gone for 3 days, it's kind of hard to catch up to those emails, along with the emails in your personal inbox from Jiffy Lube and Macy's and your credit card company. And so, what we want to do to help streamline the process and make NASDA kind of the special place where you can go and find what you want, we will be creating NASDA.org email accounts for every single person on this call. It doesn't matter if you are a manager, coach, or trainer or an enumerator. Um, titles titles aren't everything, and each one of you are extremely important to this team and to this process. And we want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date and current information possible. So now, if you're gone for 3 days, you can go into your NASDA.org email account and you'll be able to find it. We are hoping to get those set up in the September timeframe. It's a little bit out of my control. I just have to wait for notice on when it gets done. But I will notify you once those email accounts are available, how to use them, where to find them. All that information will be coming. So I hope that's a thing that makes you smile and will hopefully make your jobs easier in this remote environment. So, who do you contact for issues? You guys have spent years building relationships with your existing supervisors and coaches, and now we're breaking their responsibilities up. And timesheet questions go here to the managers, and survey questions go over here to the coaches. How do you keep it all straight? Well, if you click on this link on this slide, it will take you to a document. I have it here in a second, but if you click on this box, it says Enumerator Contact Guide. Hopefully this will help you. I've already sent this out in an email to you, but I wanted to make sure I go over it. So I broke it out into categories. You have human resource, payroll, scheduling, and there's some more on the next slide. But here's the respective issue right in the middle of the screen. I have a friend and they are interested in working as an enumerator for this job. You let the manager know, right? As of right now, we're undergoing this transition. We're on federal laptops. You guys can send names to the managers, but realistically, we are not hiring right now. October, November timeframe at the earliest for hiring, given all the changes that are occurring and the limitations with the federal laptop. But you're at home, you're working, the training materials have come out for August Ag Yield, and you can't remember the project code. You drop an email to whoever is your coach, which again, I'm sending that information out to you here shortly by August 1st. So you'll know who your coach is and you'll drop them an email or a telephone call and you'll ask them what the project code is. You need a paper copy of your W-2 to give your accountant or H&R Block. You would contact your manager. taking time off for work, if you're going to be gone for a surgery and an extended couple week process or a family emergency. You have an issue with your timesheet or you believe NASDA has done something incorrectly with your pay. You contact a manager. So as you read through this, it will tell you who you contact for what. For survey topics, you have questions about what's going on with the BLES records that you see, certain things going on. You can see who you contact the manager. But if you have questions about a specific survey, training on a survey, um, a conflict of interest with a particular respondent that was delivered to you, and you need to make sure Jody sees it, whatever it might be, those go through your coach. So, and as far as technical issues, looky there. Your trainers, those three trainers that are going to be working from 6 in the morning till 9 p.m., they're going to try to assist you with any issues that come up. Because we're on federal laptops, we will get CEC involved as needed. All right. So if that contact guide doesn't fit your needs, what do we do? We are about teamwork during this transition, and as we go remote, fully remote, that's the only way that we are going to be able to do it. Do the best that you can to sort through who you might contact. And guess what? If you contact the wrong person, it's okay. We are learning this together. We're doing our best to figure out these new roles and where all the pieces fit. If you contact the wrong person, that person will simply say, that's not me. You need to contact so and so. But if you have issues, by all means, give me a jingle back. So, under the new structure, everybody will do their best to point you in the right direction. And the new management structure and the new management team members, they're going to try and address your phone calls and your emails as quickly as possible. I try and get back to mine if possible within like 2 hours of receiving one and at least let you know I saw it, I acknowledged I got it, but I'm in meetings till 8 p.m. tonight and I'm not going to be able to respond to this until tomorrow. So the the management structure will try. Um, can you call your previously assigned supervisors and coaches? Yeah, you can. I know you have relationships with them. I know you have years of experience with them, and they are still part of the NASDA team. Some of them may have applied for the current positions, and some of them may not have. Um, Regardless of their selection and regardless of their roles now, everyone is an important part of the team. So if you call them, they're going to do their best based on these meetings, based upon the materials that they've seen, to point you in the right direction for whom you might want to contact. They'd probably say, well, did you get the email on who your manager or coach is? Well, who is that? Right? And then they'll go from there to point you in the right direction. So we're grateful for the relationships that you have formed, and we don't expect you not to oops, sorry, hit the wrong button, not to work with those supervisors and coaches or communicate with them. They're still part of your friend group. The new management team is excited in their new roles, and we have a plan in place to begin reaching out to you and getting those relationships started in this remote environment. So, what to expect? So, let's talk about your managers. So, the managers are those 5 folks that you saw in green. They're located across the country. And during the month of August, we're going to focus on ag yield data collection pretty hard, fast, and furious. But your managers will begin establishing a format of communication for those staff that are assigned underneath them. They're going to establish meetings, how often they want to hold those meetings. They're going to establish emails and how they're going to communicate with you as a group underneath their management style. And they're going to establish phone calls or begin reaching out to you. So that's what to expect from managers. As far as what to expect from coaches, during the first 2 months of the transition, every effort will be made by NASDA coaches to reach out to you on a weekly basis. Right? It's very easy for me to sit at home and me to talk to a respondent and be like, I don't know. I have these yellow peas, but are those a dry edible pea or are those a dry bean? Like I don't know where to put them. So I'm creative and I just answer my own question. That's easy to do when we're in a remote environment, right? But NASDA coaches are going to try and create an environment where you know that they're there. They're going to reach out to you on a weekly basis. They're going to see how you're doing. They're going to see if you had questions pop up during the week that you wanted addressed, just because I want them to start building those relationships with you. It doesn't mean you have to wait for that telephone call from the coach. By all means, if something comes up, you call the coach you were assigned so that you can get your question answered. But we are going to proactively reach out to you to check on issues, go over survey issues needed during data collection, and establish that open door. Even though we are remote, the coaches want to hear from you. So trainers, IT issues, laptop, Jabber, iSolved. Coverage begins at 6 a.m. and coverage ends at 9 p.m. under the NDC, National Data Center Structure. We still need CEC because we have the federal laptops. And for those of you that have been around a while, you know the limitations created by the federal laptops and CEC. You put in a ticket and you wait. Do you wait 2 hours? Do you wait 2 days? So trainers will do their best to ensure that tickets are submitted, and trainers will do their best to follow up with you on if your issues were resolved and you can actively work. Areas of concern. What is changing in your daily activities, your daily routine? Nothing. Now, I know a lot of you will no longer or are no longer going into your physical locations and you're now fully remote. But this is actually our time as we head into August and September to get to know each other and get used to the management structure and get used to how we're going to make everything operate smoothly, efficiently, and effectively. We're going to use the resources that this transition has allotted us, giving the expertise under the new management structure and the expertise NAS is delivering in their new structure. Everybody in NAS has completely changed as there's no regional field offices anymore, and they're going into national survey teams. So there's a lot of moving pieces, and everybody is going to work their best together to make it work. So in the coming weeks, let's look at a couple topic areas, okay? Scheduling. You guys all have the way that you've normally done scheduling with your supervisors. I've reached out to your supervisors. I already have an idea as enumerators, whether you're morning, afternoon, or evening shift. I also have an idea of what hours you normally work, and I already have an idea of what days of the week you normally work. And I have provided this information to your managers. We are currently looking at scheduling, not to change and make you work certain days of the week or anything like that. We're not doing that, but simply how the time or how your schedules are submitted. That's the only thing that might change. As far as adjustments, let's talk about adjustments to the abbreviations you use. We have winter wheat, WW. We have barley, BAR, I don't know, CB for callback. Abbreviations used, standard answering machine message. Anything that you can think of that you have done in your specific location, regardless of what data center you were located in, is probably a little different than what somebody did in another location. And so in the coming months, we will work to bring that all together so that we're all doing the things the same under our national structure. But we're not doing that right now. Performance reviews and feedback. Performance or pay is based upon performance. The performance reviews and feedback, we're still waiting on Josh King and Charlie Ingram to deliver that to us. And as soon as they do, we will deliver that out to you so that you guys know how things are going. Training under the new management structure might look a little bit different, but I want to rest assured that you will still have AM and PM training sessions so that you can pick the one that best fits your schedule for the day that training is scheduled for, and that trainings will be recorded and they'll be posted with a link provided. Gosh darn it. Okay, ITC. Let's talk about ITC. So NASDA and NAS can only transition so many things at the same time. So with that said, the incoming telephone call lines transition date is yet to be determined. So Andrea Buchanan is the NASDA coordinator on the NAS side. And she's going to begin leading up the ITC staffing just here during the first parts of August, this week and probably a little bit into next week. So if you are currently scheduled to work ITC, please continue to work your normal schedule as you've done through ITC. And don't be surprised if Andrea Buchanan reaches out to you. NAS has a list of those of you that are actively involved in the ITC lines. I also have the list. But if you were selected and you were previously ITC and you are under the new management structure, Andrea will work to get your shifts covered. So we're going to be working that for the next 2 weeks behind the scenes. And hopefully by the 1st of September, I will be able to reach out to you, send an email regarding ITC communication, and have that official plan rolled out the door for you. That's ITC. Let's talk about cell phones. We are fully remote. So in a fully remote environment, what are we going to do? What is it going to look like? First, the NDC will be approving cell phone reimbursements. There's no way to get around the need for cell phones. So managers, coaches, and trainers, every pay period will be allotted $30 that they may enter on their timesheets, and enumerators will be allotted $12. This is standard. This is the same thing that's used for field enumerators, in addition to telephone enumerators. Cell phone reimbursements must be entered by the NASDA staff member. When your manager reviews your timesheet, they are not going to enter your cell phone reimbursement for you. When I review your timesheets and give final approval, I am not going to enter your cell phone reimbursement. And if you forget to enter it, it will not be retroactively reimbursed. So if you do not enter it for this next pay period in August and you discover it in the middle of September, I cannot do anything about it. Your manager cannot do anything about it. We can't just retroactive after the fact go in and add it. The one thing that I will mention to you about cell phones is this. There's some changes coming our way. What they look like, I can't tell you. I can tell you that I hope to get you off the federal laptops and into a different NASDA laptop or a NASDA operated machine, simply because you wouldn't have to deal with CEC and some of the fun things that go on with getting into Citrix. But with that said, we're hoping the new software has the capability to use it to make telephone calls. So this reimbursement might not last forever. I can't tell you how long. It just depends on software advancements. So the National Data Center website, I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I want to give a live demo of what that website looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay. Can you guys see a screen with a map that says National Data Center?
No,
Not yet.
no.
Okay. Well, let me do this, and let me hold on one sec, and let me reshare, and let's see if we can get this functioning. All right. Now do you see the screen with the map?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yay. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. One sec. All right. So when you come to this website that's been bookmarked, and I've sent this out before, and I've given you a little bit of heads up that this is changing. We've tried to design a website on NASDA's end that is just easy, user-friendly, but yet contains the information you need as enumerators to be successful. So we've already updated it to the National Data Center. You have my name. Now remember, I'm sending out an email with the new management structures contact information. But if you were to hit and look for this organizational chart, it'll come up, but there's no contact information. You're only going to get it once, and you need to make sure you save that liquid gold email. Coming soon in this area will be a calendar. This calendar will let you know the workload to expect right now in the month of August and what's coming in September or October. We're going to try and deliver a 3-month calendar. We're still working on it. So in the meantime, our communications will come via email or communications from your managers, but we will get that up and operational as soon as we can. Under frequently news is Charlie's newsletters. Under frequently used, some enumerators are like, I'm having trouble with or some respondents, farmers or ranchers say, I'm having trouble with the respondent portal. I can't get it to function. Well, if you were to click on this link, it would provide that. If you can't figure out what your project codes are, you click on this and it will bring up an Excel file with the project codes, frequently used project codes. So you might be able to find them yourself. If you're having issues in iSolved, this information's here. Under human resources, there's a lot of tidbits in iSolved. How to update your contact or name changes, accident report form, tax information, printing W-2s. There's directions on how to do all of this. So I'll just do printing of W-2s. I just want to show you. It's all been updated for you. It's all current regarding what P&I and iSolved look like currently. So it should be good to go and good for your use. As far as publications, when we're doing a Bless survey and you get to the end of the interview and it says, thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed speaking with you today. Would you like a copy of the results? And the only option anymore is to collect their email address. And some surveys don't even offer that anymore. I don't know what it's going to look like in the future, but right here we have NAS publications. We have NAS publications by state. We have NAS publications by date, as well as accessing historic data. So if you have a respondent and we try and build rapport, Melissa, I admitted her. So you can simply click on this if you're comfortable, and whatever state they're in, you can provide them this link and you can click on Nebraska and you can go find the information for that state, or they can. But I just wanted to let you know on how to find releases from NAS. They're located there. Helpful enumerator resources. We have some things here for you. We have ag definitions, Zoom Basic, and who's the target, as well as tips and tricks. We have a refusal inaccessible guide. We have phoning tips. So if you're struggling, maybe come out here and take a peek on phoning tips. I just had 5 refusals in a row. I don't get it. Why aren't they, why can't I get my foot in the door? What do I need to do? You can click on these links. Now we will be having trainings. We will be adding more information, but as we do the trainings, the information will go here so that you can have a complete set of information to make you the best enumerator you can be. So that's the NASDA website down here at the very bottom. Here pretty soon, active surveys will go here, like August Ag Yield or Hawaii. It's the EPA. It escaped me. I'm sorry. The Hawaii EPA, whatever it is. It would be here. While archive surveys would be like July cattle. Things like that would be here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. So now you should just kind of see me. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me look real quick here in the chat. So just to confirm the calling time frame, CT does mean Central Time, MT means Mountain Time, and Eastern Time. So I just put the abbreviations in there, short and simple, just to confirm. So is there a relation? One of the questions is there a conflict resolution in the works? I'm assuming that means like if you're having issues or you might have to expand upon that a little bit for me. Um, but I'm assuming that has to do with supervisors and yeah. So the NASDA handbook or the enumerator handbook has conflict resolution in place. Normally, we give you feedback, whether it's positive and or negative. It comes through your performance evaluations, and um, based upon that, we move forward with how we're going to handle a situation. And normally, in the end, it ends up in the hands of Josh King or Charlie Ingram at that level to do the final say in what's going to be determined. So for now, we intend to follow that conflict resolution. As we move into the remote As we move into the remote environment, what we're going to do is we have performance, that Power PDI or Power BI that Ty and Nas were working on, and we're going to try and give you feedback as quickly as we can to increase performance. And we're going to try and better our training to increase your knowledge and your skill set to be the best data collection center callers as you possibly can. If we still have issues and things that need to be addressed, then we'll have tough conversations and we'll go from there. We do have downtime in August. Um, Ty has been working on the calendar, and as far as getting that published and released to you, um, I have not had time to do that. I will have time on Wednesday, and I hope to get that out to you the first few days of August so that you will have it. It'll probably be in email format because that calendar area of the website won't be ready yet. The next question, are there any translators available for non-English speakers? Well, we run into a lot of different things when it comes to the census of agriculture, from Hispanic to French to Hmong to, the list goes on and on. We do have a few enumerators who do speak Spanish, so that availability is there. However, they're limited to certain times of the day that they normally work. And so that's something that we still have to get out the door and plan for, which we have not had time. So right now, if you enter it into Blaze and you put it in the non-response block, Blaze will deliver it and handle it. But we will move forward with a plan once we get everything else transitioned. So, do I have other questions that came up from this meeting that you would like answered today? You can go ahead and raise your hand or put your question in the chat, and I will do my best. Okay, hold on. My eyes are getting old.
Hmm.
Okay. Will we still have access to the actual survey form that we could print off a hard copy in our training folder? So the problem with printing a hard copy is this. Let's say for August Ag Yield, if I were to give you a questionnaire for August Ag Yield, there is no one questionnaire for the entire country. There is no national questionnaire. The questionnaire is different for every single state, and the questions on that questionnaire are different for every single state. September crops. The questions are not, or APS, however you refer to, the questions are not the same for the individual states. So with that in mind, paper questionnaires, I really don't want to provide one. That's why we provide a Blaze instrument that allows you in conversation style to conduct an interview, and it delivers the questions according to the state in which the operator resides. The project code for today to use on your timesheet is project code 350. So you will enter, right now we're on 40 minutes, so we'll enter 3/4 of an hour, depending on when we wrap up. Um, let's see. Um, I'm not sure, will we get an update about our pay raises? January 1st of this year, Charlie Ingram sent an email out to all NASDA employees regarding that there were no COLAs. NASDA no longer is doing COLAs, which is cost of living increases. Instead, NASDA elected to use that money to hand out awards. But any adjustment that was made in January is and has been reflected in your pay since whatever pay period that was in January. I wasn't actively involved with NASDA then. As we go under the new structure, the pay raises associated with the management structure will be in place by pay period. Is it 15, 16, whatever payroll I run on August 11th will reflect those new hourly pay rates. When we're having issues with Blaze, who is the point of contact under the new structure, just for clarity? So I understand that you guys had Blaze issues last night. I apologize for those issues. The stability of the NAS systems, whether it's the federal laptops or the actual functioning of those or the dependability of Blaze, it makes you want to pull your hair out sometimes, and I understand that. But if you have issues with Blaze, you would contact the trainer, and the trainer and I will work actively together to get the issues fixed as soon as possible. But there's no magic fixes in remote work that were done in the office. I don't know if I'm saying that quite right. What was done in the office that took a while to fix remotely is still going to take a while to fix, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Mhm. So I am due for an evaluation in September. Will my old boss give the new boss that information? So the evaluation process is being reestablished, and the evaluation process is very different across all 5 locations. So any evaluations that you were expecting in September likely will not occur. There's a number of different things that are still occurring. We will provide you information from that um, Power BI that ties showing you just based on, how many usables you got, times between dials, things like that, just so that you have feedback. But your next evaluation will be your annual evaluation that you get in December, unless we're able to speed things up and we have the time to do so. No, your existing supervisors will not do an exit performance review on you. Just so you know, all the existing performance reviews that have been done on you do exist in iSolved. Your managers do have access to them. I've actually reviewed every single one of you. I've looked at your performance evaluations for your last 3 cycles and read the information that was put in by your supervisors. And some of the comments are very glowing, and a lot of you have done a lot of good work for NASDA. There was a question about unemployment address. So there was a question about unemployment address and what address do you use? The address that you use is actually NASDA's address. So I will just add that to the list and make sure that we get stuff sent out to you. It's a Fairfax, Virginia address. I have it over here in a pile, but I'm not going to look for it right at this time. Unemployment address for those. But we'll get that out to you so that you have those. The cell phone expense, we will be getting information out to you. We realize some people know how to do it because they were submitting, and your supervisors and coaches were submitting cell phone reimbursement. So some people know how to do it, others do not. So we will be getting together documentation that will show all of you how to enter that cell phone reimbursement into iSolve. So that's coming. And it will be there before pay period, this next pay period ends. I'm sorry, I don't remember the pay period number. Let's see. Okay, so the next question that I'm looking at came from Phyllis. What will be the work hour timeframes? Can we work our hours continuously or can we break it up per day. So the thing is that you guys submit a schedule. Most of your schedules say I'm working from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. But does remote work offer flexibility? And the answer is yes, it does. However, I'm not going to heavy-handedly change anything that you've been doing in your existing centers at this time, but I want you to consider this. If is working from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon in your best interest? Yes, you get paid, but when you stop and you think about the best times of day to reach the producers, are you really just going to be calling with nobody answering? Or would it be best to start working at 11:30 and work till 2 to catch that lunch hour? I'm just throwing it out there as an idea, and it's just something that I want you to consider. And we will be getting more information out in the coming months. We're not changing anything now. So if you need to break up your shift during the day and you communicate with your super or with your manager, then what they say is what we will do. But just keep that comment in mind about trying to work the best hours in the day to catch the respondents. If a respondent asks for a callback number, will we be provided one to use? And the answer is no. You will not be provided a callback cell phone or a phone number that you can use to make the callback. The field enumerators actively use their cell phones. That's why they receive cell phone reimbursements to callback producers. There are a number of apps you can install on your cell phone that block your phone number from appearing to that producer. So in the calling center environment, we were able to label you. So you came up as a specific name. It all depended on the center's location and the phone company's ability within those particular areas of the country. But so for now, you use your personal cell phones to call the respondents back, and you can put a free download app in order to block your number. Um, as far as I know, I believe it's Chubb. I could be wrong. I've been away for a while. Unemployment will still be handled and processed by them, or maybe Chubb is workman comp's claim. I can't remember. I'll have to dig into it. I can't answer that particular question, but just be looking for communication that comes out regarding unemployment, and we'll have it out there for you. I assume that going forward that the trainer will have a mass group for communicating issues to for evening enumerators to form them when issues arise. That answer is no for now. We are not even one day into the transition process. NASDA doesn't have a dashboard, and I do not have access to the website. So as we meet, I'll write that down so that you know. By all means, though, we can reach out. Um, sorry. By all means, we can reach out to the trainers to see if there are issues, but we will add that to our list. I'll vet it with the management team and the trainers themselves and also NASDA management, and we'll see what we're going to do. So that was a really good question. Will we still get the hotspots from NAS? I don't know what that is in regards to. We have some locations that have Verizon hotspots. Those we have had for a while. Those remained and will remain for now. We do have a number of enumerators who went remotely in the NOD and Arkansas locations, and a very limited number were having trouble getting access to internet in their locations, and they were provided iPads that had mobile hotspots that they could use to access their federal laptops. But that was done on a limited basis and an as-need basis only, and is not the best way of doing business. Field enumerators are expected to have enumerator access or they don't work for now. But field enumerators have iPads, and iPads have a hotspot built in. As NAS transitions in the coming months, whatever NASDA transitions to will have internet access. So it becomes a mute point once we get into that November timeframe. The August, I think I already addressed this, the downtime or for the August timeframe. I don't have that yet. I will be getting that out on Wednesday. Will the weekly hours? Okay, so what will be the basic weekly hours requirement, Saturday hours? Well, each of the 5 locations operated differently. Some used 15 hours, some used 9 hours, some used one Saturday a month, some used mandatory Saturdays only during certain quarterly surveys. Some used, and the list goes on and on. It was very different across the board. So I can't answer that question other than to say, you guys are now remote. You guys know the policies that you were under when you were at the NOD, when you were at Oklahoma, Wyoming, Arkansas, or Montana, and you will continue to operate under those assumptions until you hear differently from me via email. So we're just in that transition. I'm not heavy-handedly changing anything because discussions need to be had because there's a big difference between 15 hours and 9 hours. There's a big difference between mandatory Saturdays, one Saturday a month. There's a lot of conversations that need to occur as we form our national data center. So we will be ironing that information out and getting it out to you. So, all right. Now I have, let's see, I'm not an expert there. Okay. I think I have addressed all information in the chat. We still have about 5 minutes. I'm happy to address more questions. I did receive a few emails this morning, and I don't want to say that I told a mistruth and that I respond within 2 hours of receiving an email. However, I did choose not to answer a few emails this morning because I knew the topic areas would be discussed at this all hands meeting. So if I haven't addressed your question and you sent me an email this morning, please reach out again, just forward the email and then because I think I addressed them, but just in case I didn't. And again, the project code is 350 for today, and you will record 60 minutes, 1 hour. And how will enumerators know what teams they're on? That was the very second slide or third slide that I showed. And that is an email is going to come out directly to you. It will have your manager's contact information, phone number, your coach's contact information and phone number, and it will have the trainers and what time of day they work. So regardless of your schedule, you know which one to contact. Hold on. Okay. Um, nice comment regarding the NAS staff's work to get you the equipment that they needed. And the supervisors in your locations working to get you all working remotely. They worked tremendously together in some long hours, so that is great. So I mentioned that you will have weekly or monthly visits with coaches and or managers. I did say that, but how often will we have an all-call meeting? Well, I tell you what, we are still in a period of transition. I'm still in a period of transition. I did something for 28 years and I'm now taking on a different role. And every day is new and every day is stressful and every day brings on new smiles and new anxieties. But I realize that the more information that you guys have, once it's available, and I have the complete picture, it's best for me to get it out to you. So on a weekly basis, at least for now, I plan to send an email to all of you so that you know what's going on, what to expect. And you might get sick of me, oh, it's Jody again, but at least we've communicated the best we can. As far as all hands meetings, I'd like to hold them quarterly. And I would like to hold, and quarterly, I would like it to correspond with the NAS quarterly survey workload, which isn't going to happen for September because we're holding one now. but it would be March, June, or slightly before those start dates, March, June, September, and December, so that we could meet more often and have this transparent communication, because I think it's good for everyone. I'm not sure where employees will see, this is multiple comments that I've seen regarding pay increases in August. There's no pay increases in August. You're being transitioned from the, um, and this was done in January, from the pay time and grade, whatever NASDA referred to it as, to pay bands. And it's being automatically done behind the scenes. I can follow up with Charlie. Maybe there's something I misunderstood or don't understand. But if I have more information, I'll put it in the email out to you. So, no, so Carmela asked a question regarding there's no specific managers or coaches for in the tree for the afternoon shift. That's not true. We do have coaches and managers who are assigned to people working the afternoon shift, and you guys will be notified who those individuals are. They may be denoted as day or evening. However, day does cover or afternoon time periods. So you were put with supervisors, or I'm sorry, managers or coaches who work at least a period of time in which you work. All right. I do need to wrap up. I have another meeting that I need to go to here in a few minutes. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your excitement when you first started the meeting. Um, and everybody saying good morning. And it was wonderful to hear some of the questions that you had today. They're very good questions. Charlie is leaving the end of September. I'm not sure what happened in NASDA in DC does that. Oh, Phyllis, I'm not sure I understand your question specifically, but there was a recent email regarding the USDA and moving out to hubs. Does it affect NAS? It's going to affect NAS. What that effect looks like, I don't know. But NAS is congressionally mandated to put out the statistics that they do. So in the end, you guys are over here with NASDA. We are not federal. We are contract workers on behalf of the USDA, and we will continue to do our jobs. So, all right. Well, it was absolutely wonderful to see you. Thank you for being patient as we've rolled out the new structure. More information is going to come out, but hopefully I address most areas and topics of concern. So just be looking for those emails, and I appreciate your time today. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Holla. Holla.